David Tennant flatly threw shade at Meghan on the 2024 BAFTA Award Stage. Too self-absorbed and a wannabe. David Tennant roped in a host of celebrity friends for his opening monologue at the BAFTAs. The 2024 show started with Tennant reenacting his hit pandemic show Staged, alongside Michael Sheen. The premise being that Sheen wanted Tennant to dog-sit his pup Bark Ruffalo on the same night as the BAFTAs. Tennant then tried to pass the dog to friends including Stanley Tucci, Himesh Patel, Tom Hiddleston and Judi Dench. With no one to palm him off on, Tennant turned up in person at the Royal Festival Hall in London with Bark Ruffalo in tow. Taking to the stage, Tennant joked his monologue was over 3.5 hours long and that the evening was sure to go smoother than Ken's chest, referring to the plastic doll played by Ryan Gosling in hit movie Barbie. This year's awards mark the first time Tennant has hosted the BAFTAs, with the Doctor Who star following last year's host Richard E. Grant. Moreover, David Tennant made the headlines at the BAFTA Awards with his scathing remarks on Meghan Markle. The actor was outspoken in his condemnation of Prince Harry's bride, who's been widely chastised for her rude and disloyal actions towards the royal family and the British public. Tennant, a fan favourite and a renowned figure in the industry, used his sharp and caustic humour to expose Meghan's hypocrisy, arrogance and ambition, as well as to mock her as a wannabe royal who's failed to fit in and win people's hearts and minds. David Tennant also said that Meghan Markle's polished facade is not welcome in the US. The BAFTAs would have been a gilded cage scenario for Meghan, but don't touch the world of adoration that could have been hers to own. The BAFTAs could have been torture for her. In her mind, Meghan could have been up on that stage, both as an actress and a princess, if it weren't for those fusty, dusty, boring old royals, who don't have a clue as to what a fierce, independent, feminist mama bear with both a diamond tiara and a backbone of steel was capable of. But no, instead of half-in, half-out scenario, so they only did the fun stuff, she's completely failed. Elsewhere, Meghan Markle's come under heavy fire following claims made by experts in the wake of a Sussex.com rebranding. PR expert Laura Perks issued a few words of advice and urged Meghan to be more relatable in her public advances so that people don't take her for being too self-absorbed. She began by noting, "Many listeners found her Archetypes podcast too self-absorbed, so this is one of the biggest lessons she can learn from a new podcast deal." The expert also used Suits as an example and said, "One of the reasons why so many people loved her Suits character is because Rachel Zane was so relatable. Although Meghan played the character well, the reality was very different to what she portrayed on the show. All in all, I think she needs to bring the softer side of Meghan out so that we get a glimpse of the real person, not the polished facade of a duchess and Hollywood star."